Hey everyone, so check this out. We're looking at a massive $4 trillion crypto market cap right now. The overall market's just slightly down, about 0.1%, which honestly isn't bad at all. Bitcoin's absolutely crushing it at $112,900. That's over $4,000 ups. And Ethereum's sitting pretty at $4,100 plus. Now, XRP did slip to that number 4 spot at $287, but here's the thing. We're actually up 0.6% in the last 24 hours. Yeah, we're down 5.4% over 7 days, but stay with me here. Look at this price range we're working with, between $281 and $288. And guess what? We're climbing back up toward the top of that range. I'm not complaining about that at all. Here's what gets me really pumped though. The technical analysts are telling us we're still sitting in bullish territory, folks. That's got me genuinely excited about what's coming next. Now check this out. Brad Garlinghouse just tied the knot. Look at this sweet message he posted. I feel so lucky for so many reasons. And marrying Tara this past weekend takes the cake. This next chapter of life is so much sweeter with you. Just look at how happy they are in this photo. Absolutely beaming. I'm genuinely loving this for them both. Huge congratulations to the happy couple. But wait, there's more. We've got ourselves the holy trinity, the trifecta of VC token pump gang right here, people. Kyle Samani, Anthony Pompliano, and Mike Novogratz all in one place. Here's what's fascinating though. These three absolutely know what the XRP ledger's capable of doing. They understand exactly what's coming down the pipeline, yet somehow they still try talking it down at every opportunity. It's almost comical when you think about it. They know the potential, but hey, gotta keep playing that game, right? Listen to this.
It took Michael 4 years, more maybe 4 years. And what was interesting about MicroStrategy, it became its own community. Like these work if they become communities. You think about what the core value prop in crypto so far has not been utility. It's been community, right? You're part of the XRP army. A lot of people don't use the XRP blockchain, but they really like the coin, right? What does it mean, like the coin mean? They trust the community to hold their value. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. And Michael Saylor created community around MicroStrategy, which was different than Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. People are MicroStrategy guys. They like it. It outperformed. And so the job is community. Mm-hmm. Like that's what creates the value.
Mike Novogratz is literally the perfect example of how you can become a multi-billionaire without being the sharpest tool in the shed. You know what I mean? Here's what kills me though. He's out there saying nobody's actually using the XRP ledger. Well, duh, Mike. We were stuck in court fighting lawsuits for 5 whole years. Think about it. Would you want to build on something that's tied up in legal battles? Of course not. But now that we've fought those battles and won, that's exactly when the real utility is going to explode, Mike. And wait, hold up. Did I miss something? Because I'm pretty sure those words never actually left your lips in that 49-second clip. But you know what? I'll spot you that one. Here's what's really going down though. DAI absolutely nailed it when they called out you and your little VC hype squad. Kyle Samani, Anthony Pompliano, the whole gang's up there playing the same tired game. Pump your coins, dump on everyone else's, rinse and repeat. But here's where it gets juicy, Mike. Once this legislation drops and utility goes absolutely bonkers, what's going to be your next excuse? So the SEC and CFTC are actually sitting down together for a joint roundtable on September 29th. They're going to talk about getting their regulatory priorities aligned. And honestly, I'm absolutely loving this for all of us. Like, can you believe this? This would have been completely impossible just 8-9 months ago. Literally unheard of, but look where we are now. So check this out. This is Zach Pandal. He's Grayscale's head of research, and he's talking about the launch of the Grayscale CoinDesk Crypto 5 ETFs. We're talking XRP, ETH, Bitcoin, Solana, and ADA. I know you guys already know this stuff, but seriously, you got to listen to what he's saying.
Had approval and the trading begins today for the Grayscale CoinDesk Crypto 5 ETF, a diversified index-based crypto investment product. Really, this is ushering in the age of index investing in crypto. Throughout many other asset classes, investors prefer to get index exposure. They don't want to be stock pickers or bond pickers. They want to access the asset class in a way that represents the broad set of exposures and automatically rebalances over time. And this is exactly what they're going to get with this product, the Crypto 5 product from Grayscale and CoinDesk. I think it's going to be a great solution for a lot of investors. Grayscale is out in the world talking to mainstream investors about crypto every single day. And we hear demand for this type of product all the time. And we're thrilled to be able to offer it in the most efficient product structure that investors prefer, which is the ETP or ETF wrapper. So the Grayscale CoinDesk Crypto 5 Index, I think, will be a great way for investors to get a crypto allocation, a crypto sleeve in a portfolio without having to go too deep into all the complexity of blockchain technology or to try to figure out which one is going to be, the fastest, blockchain in the future, et cetera. They can have an allocation to the asset class that will automatically rebalance and make sure that you're experiencing the growth in the asset class overall. And I think there's going to be a lot of demand for this product.
I'm totally with you on that. They're absolutely nailing it with this strategy. And here's what's really cool. The weighting of these assets in the index is like a living, breathing thing that's constantly evolving based on market dynamics. This is where it gets exciting because I genuinely believe XRP is going to keep climbing up that weighted average ladder, especially once we start seeing actual real-world utility rolling out to market. Game changer territory. Okay, so now I've got something really good for you. Clearpool CEO Jay Kronbilker absolutely crushed it on stage at XRP Seoul. From everything I heard, that event was off the charts amazing. Massive props to the team that pulled that whole thing together over there. You seriously need to hear what this guy's dropping about earning yield with XRP and these emerging borrowing and lending opportunities.
XRP definitely differentiates from Bitcoin in terms of utility. Another very interesting factor, I think, is for the DATs, once again, is yield generation. I think when it comes to XRP, we're still relatively early compared to other assets such as Ethereum, that obviously has native staking, and a very large percentage of that asset actually actively already generates yield. So I think XRP has a massive potential to be deployed into yield-bearing opportunities. Now, obviously, we already talked about using XRP for cross-border payment settlement. I think XRP, because of its, extremely liquid nature, is obviously also a very interesting collateral, right? So use XRP as collateral to borrow stable coins, other assets. Use XRP as collateral to facilitate stablecoin cross-border payments. So there's a lot that you can do, and I think it is very interesting that if you already, if you think that XRP is an attractive asset, then investing into an XRP DAT can be very attractive because, besides just having, this yield opportunities, obviously there is also the advantage that there's regulatory oversight, right? So you're gonna invest into a kind of like, listed hedge fund in that sense that has, best-in-class institutional grade custody providers and has, has probably a better transparency versus investing into a private fund. So I think that's an interesting value proposition for XRP.
Bam, there it is. And talk about a killer value proposition. But folks, we're just getting warmed up here. Strap yourselves in because the most epic liquidity explosion in crypto history just went live. Ripple just unleashed the beast, their next level institutional DeFi playground on XRP Ledger. We're looking at a whopping $1 billion in stablecoin firepower, compliance tools running hot, plus a native lending protocol that's about to drop. And yes, this entire arsenal built exclusively for the big players. Yo, can somebody slide into Kyle Samani's DMs, hit up Anthony Papriano, ping Mike Novogratz, because this institutional infrastructure they've been grinding toward, it's literally happening right now. Listen to this, it's not just us, it's not even just the XRP army anymore. We're talking about all the big institutions jumping in. That's literally what's about to go down, guys. And oh my gosh, yesterday we got some absolutely incredible news. Big shout out to Axelar Network. I actually got to hop into one of their Twitter spaces and speak alongside Eleanor Tarrant, which was amazing. First off, massive props to her for absolutely nailing this presentation. Like seriously, give this woman a round of applause. But hold up. Can we just talk about Axelar for a second? Because They are straight up dominating right now. Dennis and Georgios just came through with the heat, and I'm telling you, what they just unveiled is about to change everything. They've cooked up this insane new yield-bearing liquid staking token that's literally going to flip the switch on DeFi for the entire XRP ledger. And XRP holders can now bag up to 10% APY. 10%, people. They're calling this beast MXRP, and trust me, you're going to want to remember that name. The gloves are off. DeFi just entered the chat, and this race is getting spicy. All right, enough talk. Let's listen to this clip because it's about to blow your mind.
Midas and Interop Labs have unveiled MXRP, pitched as the first liquid staking product for the XRP ecosystem, promising holders potential returns of up to 8%. This new token highlights a significant push to tie the XRP ledger into broader cross-chain liquidity flows. Announced at XRPL Seoul 2025, the product allows XRP to be converted into a yield-bearing asset that can be used across decentralized finance protocols for additional opportunities. Midas co-founder Dennis Dinkelmeyer said that MXRP could, quote, play a key role in unlocking new use cases for XRP. The targeted net returns for MXRP are set in the 6 to 8% range, though the final outcome will depend on underlying strategy performance.
Boom, and there it is, people. The stablecoin war just got spicier. Check this out. Hugo Filion from Flare just casually dropped a bombshell. Ready for this? Your XRP can actually party on Flare doing full-blown DeFi stuff. No custodians breathing down your neck, totally permissionless. But wait, it gets crazier. You can literally park your XRP in this vault thing where some risk wizard basically becomes your crypto wingman, hunting down returns while you chill. These mad scientists can go full blockchain mode, totally off-chain stealth mode, or, plot twist, mix both worlds together like some DeFi smoothie. Flare is basically working with some of the absolute heaviest hitters when it comes to risk curation, and they're building these insane vault-based strategies. But here's what blows my mind about Flare. They're not just doing one thing. They're covering literally every angle you could want, all under one roof. And that's the type of fierce competition that has me absolutely pumped. Now here's where things get spicy. Ripple's making moves on the institutional front. You've got Hugo teaming up with Flare, and then boom, Axelar drops in like they own the place. So we've got like a whole army of players jumping into this space right now. Doppler's out here doing their thing, you know. Plus there's tons of other projects that are seriously starting to make waves and crush it. And honestly, I'm absolutely loving that this race is heating up. But here's where it gets real. Hugo just dropped the ultimate challenge, and I'm here for it. 5 billion XRP locked up on Flare networks, all earning sweet yield by mid-2026. We're talking just 9 months from right now. Listen to this.
Hugo, with the DeFi ecosystem within XRP now starting to expand, how much do you think is going to be unlocked just this year, in the last few months of this year?
I mean, I'd like to see Flare at 5 billion XRP by mid-2026. Don't know about the last period of this year. Market's a bit volatile, but I'd like to see Flare at 5 billion XRP.
I'm sitting here thinking, Hugo, dude, I seriously need to see you and the entire Flare crew up on that stage at XRP Las Vegas 2026. Like, this needs to happen. Look, we've all been playing the waiting game here, right? Because let's face it, we just haven't had the proper legislation or that crystal clear regulatory framework we've been dying for here in the States. But you know what? This is literally your moment, Hugo. The timing couldn't be more perfect, man. You've got to get up on that XRP Las Vegas stage. So with DeFi finally breaking wide open for XRP holders, and I'm talking massive opportunities here for the very first time, let me tell you something. If you're smart enough to show up and get involved at XRP Las Vegas, you're going to have that sweet first mover advantage. Trust me on this one. And look, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Check this out. Canary Capital's Stephen McClurg is talking about XRP Spot ETFs right now. Remember, that's exactly the DeFi stuff we just covered. Here's the crazy part. We've got almost 20 XRP Spot ETFs just sitting there waiting for approval. And this guy believes we'll see $5 billion flowing into XRP Spot ETFs in just the first 30 days. Listen to this.
The Ripple ETF or XRP ETF approval odds right now on Polymarket hovering at around 86%. So one of its highest points, but it looks like this is going to happen. And what is the likelihood of the timing for this right now?
I would guess that XRP would probably be this year. Either Eric or James from Bloomberg simply said, well, if there's futures at Coinbase then you probably get an ETF in 2025.
Your statement at that time was $5 billion in the first month. Are you still holding to that? Do you think that's a possibility?
I really am. I would say after Bitcoin, XRP is probably the most well-known on Wall Street and on finance circles. And then ETH is actually probably number three. So if you think about it that way, I do believe that XRP could potentially outperform ETH just from pure financial services standpoint.
Bam! There it is, guys. I am absolutely obsessed with this. Stephen McClurg and Paul Barrett, these absolute legends, are making moves. The Shane Ellis theory is about to explode into motion once those XRP ETFs get the green light. And here's the juicy part. We're going to throw in all this incredible DeFi goldmine that's finally breaking into the market because guess what? It actually can now for the very first time ever. Think about it. Stablecoins, mind-blowing DeFi plays, and all these game-changing smart contracts. I am so thankful that all the wild stuff wasn't popping off before the SEC came swinging at XRP and Ripple with their lawsuit hammer. Because let me tell you something, if that chaos was already brewing, we'd still be sitting here munching popcorn, watching this legal soap opera drag on forever. I'm telling you, whether they masterminded this whole thing or just stumbled into it by pure luck, keeping everything quiet during the courtroom showdown was absolutely brilliant. Like chef's kiss level strategic thinking right there. But now that this whole legal nightmare is finally in the rearview mirror, oh, my friends, my beautiful crypto family, buckle up because things are about to get spicy. We need that legislation passed so we can all see what's really cooking behind the scenes. Listen up. 24 Hours Crypto just dropped this mind-blowing breakdown a few days back, and honestly, most people are completely clueless about how tight XRP supply actually is. Here's the jaw-dropping reality check. Ripple's escrow vault holds 37.3 billion tokens. That's a massive 37.3% slice. Their liquid stash, another 3.5 billion sitting there. Boom. 3.5% vanished. Chris Larson's personal treasure chest contains 2.3 billion, capturing 2.3% of everything. Arthur Brito, he's locked and loaded with 1.3 billion tokens, securing his 1.3% stake. Are you keeping track? Because we're already at a whopping 44.4% of total supply completely tied up. But hold on to your seats because here comes the tsunami. Institutional money is about to crash this party hard. Purpose ETF has already scooped up 29.6 million XRP tokens, and boom, 3iQ swooped in, grabbing another 45 million. Am I right? We're talking about small firms here, not those massive trillion-dollar monsters everyone thinks about. Retail investors, they're maybe grabbing 15% of the total supply, and honestly, I'm being pretty generous with that estimate. But picture this, when the big boys like JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Goldman Sachs finally jump in, we're talking billions and billions of XRP just disappearing straight into cold storage. That's exactly how I see this whole thing playing out, and it ties perfectly into what I keep mentioning, the Shane Ellis theory I've been breaking down for you guys. This literally just dropped. US lawmakers are pushing the SEC to roll out President Trump's executive order that opens up the massive 12.5 trillion 41K retirement market to crypto. Yeah, you heard that right. This is actually happening right now. And the average person holds those retirement accounts for what? About 40 years? Exactly. Now throw this on top. 7 countries have already locked and loaded their national Bitcoin reserves. I mean, when you connect all these dots together, it's pretty wild what we're looking at here. You really believe they're going to pump the brakes at Bitcoin? Are you kidding me right now? Imagine the chaos when they start hoarding other gems like XRP, XLM, ADA, and who knows what else. They're absolutely not putting all their eggs in the Bitcoin basket. Wake up, folks. This is happening whether we like it or not. Next thing you know, boom. Entire nations are basically playing Monopoly, battling it out for these crypto treasure chests. So the White House Crypto Council is super bullish. They're expecting that crypto market structure bill to actually pass in the 4th quarter. I'm absolutely loving this positive momentum we're seeing. But wait, there's more breaking news you can't miss. Mark your calendars because in just 7 days, September 30th, the US Treasury is dropping their complete payment infrastructure overhaul. We're talking about massive global implications here, people. Here's what's really wild, though. Check this out. Craig Phillips, Michael S. Barr, Susan Friedman, and Rosie Rios. Yes, the 43rd treasurer herself. They all left the US Treasury to join Ripple. Some are still lurking out there. Wait. Could this actually be tied to the massive US Treasury system makeover that's happening? Honestly, I have zero clue. But buckle up, people, because we're about to witness history. Okay. Quick disclaimer here. This isn't financial advice from yours truly or anyone else, got it? But here's my hot take. This XRP supply shock isn't just some theory anymore. I'm convinced it's about to explode beyond anything we've ever witnessed. And folks, the timeline is shorter than you think. All right, everyone, I'll see you in the next video.